Over the last couple of weeks, Maximum Football has revealed some details in regards to their upcoming game. It's expected to hit PC and hopefully consoles sometime in the fall, but they have been doing a good job of keeping us up to date with their progress. They leave developer notes. Go follow them on @MaxFootballGame on Twitter and join their Discord. So today I want to reveal a couple of features that they have been, obviously previewing to the public. And the first one goes to Dynasty, where some things are introduced here. Now, one thing that you need to be aware of for this game, this is not the true NCAA licensed game, but it's going to be a college football style game. So you're going to have a college football team, you're going to have a national ranking, you're going to have conferences, conference championships, recruiting, things like that. So we will go over that today. So first, when you load up your Dynasty, this is what you're going to see. You're going to get your team selection. Now, one thing that's interesting that I really love is that there are different cities for these college teams, like not just like, obviously the same cities as the NCAA football teams. And then there's a budget. So I wonder what this budget is going to be towards. Is it going to be towards, things like NIL deals, or is it going to be towards staffing, hiring, or is it going to be towards other things in recruiting? It's just a very interesting nugget. So when you load up the Dynasty, this is the screen that you're going to get. So this is about, at week 4 in the season, and this is what the Atlanta State Pack are going to look like. And there's different parts of the screen I do want to highlight. First, the menus here. So the 4 main menus here at the top are going to be main, which is what you're seeing right here. My College, which probably highlights some attributes of your college, some details, maybe some history there, things like that. My Coach, which might highlight some historical data on your coach. If you have some like upgrades for your coach, probably that will be there. And then recruiting, which we will look at a little bit later here in this video. But I really like this main menu, I should say. A lot of different parts of this are very eye appealing, and that's one thing that they said on their Twitter account, that they wanted to kind of bring that presentation to a college football game. So to the left here we have your overall rank and your conference rank, which is pretty standard. I like that overall rank being there. Top players, which will just be your obviously probably your overall ranking. So it looks like here Roger Kirkland is 676 in the whole entire country, and then George Prater is 1,717. Wow. I mean, what a drop off. This is probably one of the worst teams in the entire nation. Top stats, which are just your probably team stats. I'm not sure if they'll tweak this. I wish they would show like maybe leaders here, or at least like where you're ranking as far as individual players. And then there's improved players, which might be training, stats and awards, and ranking. So I like that part of the menu here. And then in the middle here, we have play game. We have schedule and results, which is pretty standard. But to the right here is a pretty interesting feed here. It's kind of like a Twitter-esque feed, Max Social. So you can see right here, Mike is, I wouldn't say tweeting out, but he is writing that a record-breaking win. Peoria Fighting Foxes breaks record in a stunning win over Land of Lake Husks. So at least you'll get some feeds here, so some type of news feed to keep you up to date with your league. And one thing that I have not liked about Madden is they have not done a good job of at least having a update that is visual right in your face. Like, I like that this is right on the main menu. It tells you what's going on around the league. It's definitely not a ton of information, but at least keeps that immersion. That's the one thing that's going to be important with this game and get people to retain playing it throughout a duration of time is the immersion. So speaking of immersion, they do have 3 new point systems, and I'm not sure exactly what each one does, but there is prestige here, which we will see actually later in this video with recruiting, and I'm wondering how that's tied in. But I'm sure you can earn prestige based off of getting wins, maybe achieving goals, things like that. XP, kind of the same thing. So I'm wondering what XP and prestige are used for. Maybe prestige is used to kind of get your name recognized around the league. And then there's budget, obviously, which budget, who knows, could go up and down with your success of your team. So here's a different team here, Bucksville Pirates, and they are obviously one of the worst teams as well. But this is the off season, so it looks a little bit different. The main menu stays the same. Certain things change like this, advance off season. But then on the right hand side, there is news, and this is actually recruiting news. Star quarterback Albert Maryland commits to Lower Georgia Mammoth, bolstering their roster with exceptional talent. So I wonder if this is just going to be regards to your team, or it's going to be, you know, all around the league as far as how it impacts. Maybe this team is in the same conference as your team, or maybe it's just, you know, maybe the top quarterback. I'm not really sure who Albert Maryland is. I'm guessing that maybe he is one of the best quarterbacks that were coming out of high school or junior college. I guess only time will tell. But I really like this. Like, it gives you that news right there in the off season. Like I said, I'm really loving this main menu, and just it's all there for you to see. And I think that's one thing, like I said, that Madden and all these other games are kind of missing. So here we look at recruiting and prospect scouting for the first time. So at the top left, there are three main navigation items: team needs, prospect scouting, and recruiting board. Now, one thing that I'm noticing about, you know, just this list of players here, a tight end is number 1 overall. That's the first thing. And a punter is top 10. I think that is kind of, I don't want to say alarming, but to see a punter top 10 probably should not happen. So I'm wondering if they will tweak that and probably not have a punter or kicker ranked that high. But then looking at the rest, I mean, it all looks pretty legit. I mean, there's a quarterback in the top 10, safety, defensive tackle, cornerback, defensive end. That's the only thing I have to say about the positions. Now, looking at the attributes, it looks like they have a few new attributes. So the normal ones: speed, strength, agility, acceleration, jumping. But DIS and DET, I'm not sure what those are. Maybe DIS is discipline, and that may, you know, affect maybe the penalties that the player will commit. And then DET, I'm not exactly sure, but I like that they have different ratings than, you know, a normal, you know, EA game, you know, Madden, NCAA football, things like that. And they keep the ones that obviously matter. Now, I talked about prestige earlier, and this is where you see prestige now. So now you can unlock attributes here in this Dynasty screen. So once you have a player highlighted, you could possibly hit, you know, A or whatever button you're using or whatever console you're on, and then unlock attributes. So you can see Lewis Howell, 6'4", 259. He is a high schooler. His interest is average, so I'm pretty sure that's his interest in your school. His grade is an A+, so I'm guessing that as you unlock some ratings, that grade might probably fluctuate. So if he ends up being, you know, a bust, maybe his grade goes down to a C or a B or whatever the case may be. But I guess A+ is probably the highest you can get, obviously. His 40-yard dash is a 5.56. I mean, that is absolutely terrible. But for a defensive end, it may be decent. I'm not sure, you know, what their you know, ratios as far as, you know, what a defensive end should be as a 40-yard dash. Repetitions 22, vert 24.5 inches, 20-yard shuttle 4.9, 3-cone 8.29, and the Wonderlic test. So they added the Wonderlic to this list of things. I know that's not something that usually high school players really do, but it's kind of interesting to add to this game. I kind of like that. Maybe it will play to their awareness. So maybe if they have an awareness rating, or maybe even a discipline rating, that one kind of factors into that. So if you don't want to fully scout a guy and use some of your prestige, you don't have to. Maybe that's a way to kind of see what they are. Now, I'm wondering how accurate the 40-yard dash is to speed. Like, is that really accurate, or do you have to have like good scouts to be more accurate? That's all valid questions. If all these grades here, or these, you know, quote unquote combine scores really factor into the accuracy of those ratings we see in that menu, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Well, as I get more news, I will reveal it to you guys. I wanted to get a good sample size of news here before I put a video out, but let me know if you guys are excited for this, and let me know what your guys' thoughts are around this. I really like what they're doing, and they have a tentative date of the fall of this year, so keep a lookout for Maximum Football. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you next time. Hit subscribe, hit that like button, stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.
Boy, all that like Keenan. Still got crack, they fiendin'. Flow still hot like Phoenix. Shine so bright, I'm gleaming. This off top, I'm tweaking. Fresh out the rat like Neiman. And I'm still tryna fight my demons. Cause we all gotta act like Tina. That's why I gotta ride with the Nina. Outside, it's a war going on.